said nice things.
Yeah.
No nasty things?
No nasty things.
Man, how do we get someone to say something?
You gotta say something controversial.
Mean? No, how do we get people to say mean things about us?
Yeah, don't worry. You put it on the internet, that's what happens. Just start reading some YouTube comments.
So Jeff is back. Are we recording?
Is this? Oh, my camera's recording.
Okay.
We on?
We're live.
All right.
You see
live. Oh man, Tony's joining.
We should live stream.
We should live.
That actually
stream.
would be pretty fun.
Well,
Can
Tony's
you do it on LinkedIn?
Tony's visiting us today, so he may join in. This will be fun. Tony's an interesting guy. You guys don't know this, but he's super interesting.
Oh, they know Tony. They know Tony.
Everyone knows Tony. Tony's always doing our clips, man. Tony's the man.
Tony, everyone in my family knows you as like the curly hair marketing guy, and they love you. So my whole family is a big Tony fan.
Over my hair.
Is that right?
No.
Dude,
What?
we should actually. I've seen some comments on our things that are very funny.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that, but we should look at those comments sometime.
That'd
Do you
be
look
good
at those
time.
comments ever?
No.
You ever read the Instagram comments? Me either.
No, I don't read comments. I don't want to build that habit. I think as we get bigger, it's like super dangerous to do that. Just don't even start.
You can't.
I just don't even start.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we
the thing.
have
Internet's a dangerous place.
we've got like 100,000 followers combined now
Yeah.
online. That's pretty insane. Now that I think about that, do you ever think about that? Like 100,000 like people
know
follow
who
us,
we are.
and it's scaling like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I bet we'll be sitting here by the end of the year as me 1 million followers.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
You can't read those comments. It's
Nah.
not a good idea.
When I worked at Twitch, they would I released a feature and then like they talk about it. Like I was super excited about it.
Yeah.
I got so much hate. People telling me to end my life and what other sort of craziness. Yeah, people online can be very nasty.
Yeah. People are crazy.
Anyways.
All right, what are we talking about? It's Wednesday afternoon here.
Yeah.
The last one was well received. I felt like people enjoyed us chatting about building a company, what it's like behind the scenes. So to set the stage, is Wednesday afternoon at Range. We've got, I don't know, about 30, 40 minutes to talk about startup building stuff. What do you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about disagreements.
Disagreements.
I want to talk about
What brought that up?
I want to talk about coffee. I heard
Okay.
that founders can disagree about things, and I guess my question to you is like, so coffee, like what the heck, you guys?
We big disagree on coffee.
Like, I mean, you agree on a lot of things, but coffee is something that you disagree on.
How do we disagree on coffee?
Did we disagree a lot? You love the Starbucks, and I'm like
do
trying to
love
have like
Starbucks.
the weird, blonde roast, notes of nectarines and
Yeah, that's pretty
whatever
nasty.
else.
That's gross. I mean, I like things that work.
I like
Starbucks gets
weird
it done.
things.
More important than the thing about Starbucks. I mean, not Starbucks. The thing about startup food life. And we had a conversation about this the other day, didn't we? Where we have 3 offices. We've got a lot of people joining the company, and we have awesome snacks, drinks, etc. People complain. It drives me nuts.
About
Can I
what?
have this? Can I have that? I'm like, you wouldn't buy this on your own, You wouldn't spend $4 on a protein shake. Drives me nuts, Here's some free food. They're like, not good enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't that bother you guys?
I think it does. I think there's like, in general, I would say in tech, there's often like a sense of entitlement with certain perks and things. I've seen at other not saying like we have like a insane, level of entitlement with anyone here, but like at other companies I've worked at and other stories I've heard about people, they're like, the massage today was terrible. Like what are we talking about right now?
The massage
Today was terrible.
No,
What
no,
I'm just
it's
talking about in
it's more
Slack.
something. It's
Holy
very
cow,
mid-
we're not
very
even at that
mid-massage.
level.
We're not even at that level. We got to get masseuses and whatever else. We're like, oh my God, like, the laundromat service lost my favorite pair of socks, whatever.
Is that Twitch?
Yeah, they didn't have laundry at Twitch, but they had masseuses, and it was like a big thing that I remember the big drama at the time was like they took away masseuses. And so it was like winding down and like everybody was trying to like get their
Get a
free
massage?
massage, I'm like, yeah, you guys make a lot of money. You just go get a nice massage somewhere, whatever. But I do think the perks are interesting. Food in specific is one that
I
think
food,
you and
yeah.
I,
We both
talking about
love food,
disagreements,
yeah.
that we're violently agreement on eating good food.
I mean, there's a running joke. Like, we started this company just to get to the point where we have our own private chefs in a cafeteria.
Yep.
Because, like, this company was founded us working in the Twitch cafeteria in San Francisco. And we spent a lot of time there for years, I would say. I'd go visit Dave in SF as we were thinking of ideas 2018, 2019, and we would just hang out and talk about business ideas while having lunch. And that cafeteria Twitch was amazing.
It was incredible.
Amazing. And then you'd go downstairs, and they had this entire coffee bar, I remember, of like 50 different kinds of coffee and espresso you can have. And I was like, I want this. This is pretty awesome. I would definitely make some adjustments, but this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we got to get back to the private chef.
So why am I complaining about protein bars?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
You promised the private chef at some point. When does that happen?
as soon as we get bigger.
See, here I am complaining about not having
That's
a private chef.
as soon as we get bigger. I mean, but it you know, I don't know. Like you try to maintain a sense of like, okay, you get more stuff as you get bigger, but like sometimes I feel like we have more stuff than we've earned. But maybe that's just me. I mean, team works really hard. We're doing really well, but it's like, all right, have we really earned this yet? I'm like, yeah, we might have, you know. And other times, sometimes we're like, no, we haven't earned it. Sometimes I want to take things away. I'm just like, give me that back. we're not having a good day.
No more protein bars.
You know?
What's the worst perk in tech? What's the number one perk that is like has gone rampant with tech companies where you're like,
I remember back in the day with Soylent. Soylent was huge back
that?
in the day. Soylent is
You don't know Soylent?
Meal replacement for tech bros. I never tried it because it's not food, and I refuse to have stuff that's not food. But Soylent was a big one.
Have you tried it? Have you tried Soylent?
Yeah. I mean, people, literally, my friends lived off that in San Francisco. They just
Yeah.
replaced their
SF
diet.
thing, yeah.
Big SF thing, yeah.
Yeah. They're just
I tried it a bunch.
Yeah, they're just like on the pure Soylent diet. I don't know if it lasted or not, but I remember one of my buddies, he's engineering, just like, I opened up his fridge, and I was like, what the heck, what is all this? Just drinking Soylent.
No, we had a good dinner last night, right? Like, that's real food. So I took the product team out and design team. We went to Fogo de Chao. So had a good time. What did you think?
It was good. Had the meat sweats once again.
You have to.
I'm still kind of full from that, but it was good. It's like pleasurable. It's
Yeah.
delicious,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like a punishing. It's like so good it hurts.
That was in our old office that we were building.
That's a great office,
So
yeah.
that brought back really good memories. I mean,
We did a team week there. We did a team week dinner at Fogo de Chao. I don't know if you remember.
No, not Fogo de Chao. It was the other one.
No, we did both. We did like when we were much smaller. We did Fogo de Chao as well.
I don't remember.
It was must have been like 2022.
Avery. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, we were much smaller.
Okay.
Maybe like
20
20,
people?
15 people maybe. 20
Yeah.
people
Yep.
max.
That was a good time. That place is always good.
Yeah.
That place is that's a great building. I would love to go back to that building and take the 12th floor of that WeWork.
That was such a nice building
Yeah.
and that
I
nice
don't
view.
know. Do you remember the 12th floor?
I remember
of
that.
building?
Yeah, it's like all the rooms. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I remember you can get lost in there. There were just so many
Yeah.
rooms, and
It's because they were all empty.
They're all
Nobody
empty.
was going to work.
yeah, it was during
Remember?
COVID.
Like there was like
Yeah, it was during
80%
COVID.
vacancy,
I
and
mean-
we were the only crazy people going in.
I mean, you know what's crazy is like, so I went downstairs like an hour ago, and we're moving to the 7th floor, and so, like, did you go to the 7th floor yet? So, look at this. Like, they're demoing our whole floor,
That's great.
which
yeah.
is like super cool. You know,
The whole thing is
the whole floor. It's like we're getting an entire floor, right? I took a video. Let me see, where'd the video go? Where'd it go? Here we go. Like, check that out.
That's nice.
That's
Full-
pretty cool.
Full build out.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, it's an entire floor of an office building, and Matthew was coming up with me, so we went, and I was like, hey, come join me. I'm just gonna check out how the construction is going on our new office, HQ, and I was like, as we were getting out, I was like, man, I remember that WeWork we were in 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and we were like, man, one day we're gonna be big enough to take this whole floor, and then I'm looking at this floor, which is a whole floor of an office building. I'm like, I don't think it's big enough. I
Yeah.
was like, I think we're gonna like outgrow this in like 6 months after we move in, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if that's good or bad in an AI first world where like you want less employees, I guess, but not really. I don't know. Now we're diverging into like, has AI actually taken jobs? You know?
Well, and it's kind of topical actually because Anthropic just signed a lease for like the most huge commercial space in New York.
yeah.
I don't know the number of square footage it was, but
Massive.
it's a huge building.
To do
Yeah.
what? Like what are they?
Well,
gonna
so
have
they're
there?
expanding their workforce there, right? So it's like the
what,
biggest
what
AI
kind
company.
What kind of workers?
I'm assuming it's like across the board, probably like engineers and product mostly, but I'd have to go double check. Yeah.
Spending over $1 million just on the move. Lindsay, my wife's dad, his company's doing the move. They're spending over $1 million just for the move alone.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Makes sense though. When you're, do you know how many square footage it is? Or
No, but
it's like a
It's
huge
in
space.
it's in
a
Manhattan?
massive space. Yeah.
It's in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I mean, Manhattan needs more tech companies. I know people are always asking us to like build out our tech presence in Manhattan. Like, I worked and lived in New York, and it's great for so many things, but like the tech talent there just isn't. It's no bueno.
Yeah. Well, there's now this like sort of movement from people who are leaving SF to go to New York. There was
really?
sort of like a bit, like maybe not a big exodus, but like
Why?
there was a substantial movement. I think New York has a lot of things that are desirable, right?
Yeah.
Like it's one of the best cities on the planet.
That's like saying like during the Renaissance, I'm going to leave the art capital of the world to go to like Milan. Like, why would you do that? I mean,
I don't know.
or Venice or whatever. Like, beautiful city. I love New York. I mean, we have an office there. It's great, but like, I don't know. It's just not like it's got so much optionality.
Yeah.
That's the problem. In tech, like in SF, you're in tech or you're not.
Totally. Yeah.
And in New York, it's like you can be in fashion, you can be in media, you can be in food, you could be in tech-ish, right?
Yeah.
So like, why would you? That always confused me about people that wanted to move to New York. It's like they want to create their own thing and do it in a way like that works for them. But I don't know. Like, New York is not a tech hub. I know that's going to get a lot of flack from the commenters I'm not going to read about on the internet. But New York is not a tech hub. It's so amazing, world class for other things, but it's not a tech hub. Full stop.
So why wouldn't we open up an office in San Francisco? I know you've thought about
Because
it.
it's
a lot.
expensive, and I don't want to deal with California law, labor laws. Honestly,
But if all the talent's there, like how do you recruit talent from those places, from those top tier?
you pay them a lot of money to move. Everyone has a price.
Yeah.
I think like, yes, there's a lot of talent there, and probably the best technical talent in the world. I would encourage anyone that's like trying to start a company or that wants to work in startups. I would 1,000,000% encourage them to just go to SF. Like, you'll find something, even if it doesn't work out, which is mathematically the odds. Like, it's not going to work out. Just go to SF. It's probably the biggest regret of my life is I didn't go out west until I was like 10 years into my career. And I went to Seattle, which was also great. I would say Seattle's probably second to San Francisco in terms of technical talent. But the other problem there is like everyone leaves every 5 seconds. You get a job and like there's no employee tenure, right? Everyone leaves all the time. Like, you built a company there actually. You started a company there. Like, what did you see?
It's crazy. I think everybody's recruiting everybody at that time. So basically,
Wait, what years was your company there again?
Well, I was there since 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Until
that's
about
when-
2020, it's about 6 years.
Yeah, and like even at that time, I was hanging out with David, and we were like trying to recruit each other. Like,
Yeah.
and I actually
Wait, what? You tried to recruit him?
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
like,
vice versa. We hung out at the Expo office a bunch of times. We used to go to Yak
I had
Sing.
no idea. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? When
Yeah,
was this?
I was like,
This
yeah,
was like 20. That was like that time frame.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, hey, you should meet my buddy David.
I
And was
came by
like,
Expo, met Human. I hung out with Jeff, and we just kept hanging out.
At Expo, like
Yeah,
Garrett's
and
place.
then it was like, oh yeah, come over to Twitch, have some lunch over here, and then David was trying to recruit me, and I was like, oh man, food here is pretty good.
I had no idea. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but that's how it was. I remember my buddies at NerdWallet. I would just go over there, hang out with them, like on their crazy Friday night parties, and
What was that about? What do you mean NerdWallet crazy Friday night parties?
well, they just have like, I guess they have happy hour. It was happy hour, but at first it was pretty tame, and they like catered food for everybody. So anybody just came in and they just like hang out. And then I was a guest of one of my buddies, and I just kind of knew everybody. Eventually knew everybody, all the folks over there through my friend, and like eventually it just got nuts because they had alcohol there too. So you know what, alcohol it can do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So like just like.
I don't know. I don't drink. He's
Well,
like, I was like, I don't know. I don't drink alcohol.
Well, I'm just saying, like, over there,
I
they
get
had-
what you're
yeah, they
saying.
have bars, and just like at some point, you're like, wow, this is like getting pretty crazy
Huh.
over there. Yeah, Friday
NerdWallet.
nights- NerdWallet, yeah. But what ended up happening was like I would just go there, hang out, and then they're just like, when are you starting? And they're just like, here's a laptop, and they're just
When
like,
are you
here's
starting
yeah,
with a
just
laptop?
like yeah, they're just like just start working. Like it was a different type of conversation. Like when you're saying like people jumped around a lot, it's because they made it really easy, and the perks were just like right there, and you're just like, oh, this company is a little bit nicer to me, like they have some more perks. They're going to throw me some more money. Okay.
Yeah.
And at that time, like, I think designers and engineers just super, super hot commodity to try just get as many people. And there's like a lot of referrals at that time. So,
But was it hard for you to keep your people because of that, right? Because couldn't they just jump ship and go to Twitch or go to NerdWallet or Facebook or Google or whatever?
I think like when you start early projects, like you're trying to find like almost like co-founder level types of people that are like really in it for the mission.
Yeah.
So the rotation of that is like much less. In my, at least my experience, like you'll see like a lot of founding people stay with it. So, because there's a mission, like even at Expo, like there was just that mafia. Like I still keep up with all the designers over there. Like highly respect all the designers.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if they were ever asked me for a favor, I'd be there in a heartbeat to help out wherever I could. You know, so there's just like a really good community. Because I think it was that culture was really strong. So even though like I'm not working at Expo right, you know, anymore, like
Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
I mean, they backed us. They founded us.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
as a
yeah.
founding investor.
yeah. But all those guys over there, all the
Yeah.
gals over there, they're all homies.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, we're talking about like technical talent, like recruiting and talent. Like, I was thinking about this the other day for some reason. If you guys remember, like we interview a lot of people here. Today, there's a bunch of interviews this morning, and I was thinking about this person we interviewed. I don't remember when, probably about a year ago. Remember they came to the office, and I was making chit chat with them, and I don't know if I told you this story, but you know, walk in the room, like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Fahad. How's it going?
I think I know what this is.
And you know, just trying to be nice. I'm setting up my laptop, whatever. Like, you know, where are you coming from? Like, you live locally? You travel in for the interview? And they go, no, I'm here. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I live in D.C. or somewhere near D.C. I was like, oh, how'd you get here? There's like two main highways to get to our office. And she's like, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean you don't know how you got here? She's like, I was like, are you new to the area? Maybe this person moved here. And they're like, no, I live here. I've lived here for 2 years. I just use GPS. I was like, so if you've lived here for years, there's only 2 ways to get to this office. Like, how did you get here? Did you take this highway or that highway? And they were just like, I don't know. And the whole interview, I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna move past this. And you know, I started asking my questions, whatever. Interview, for what it's worth, was not going well. It wasn't awful or whatever, but then like the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know how this person's gonna get home. They don't know how they got here. Was like literally what I was thinking about the whole time. Like you see the weirdest and most interesting people come through in interviews, and you know, I think a lot about like, is that like a DC thing? Is that where we're based? Is that like an SF thing, a New York thing? I think it's pretty universal. Like
It's everywhere.
We're interviewing people all over. Like, oh my gosh, like we've had some really, really interesting characters interview here over the years.
We were talking about it kind of recently where we opened up a bunch of new roles and had a bunch of people apply, and like we're like pretty confident 90% of them are bots or spam.
Yeah.
And you get on I've like taken some of those calls just because, you know, you just don't know, right? You get on when it's just somebody who's like very clearly like cheating with AI. Like you can see their eyes look at a different part of the screen, and they're just like very rehearsed in their responses. You ask a question, they give you a follow-up, and I'm like, well, you already answered every single one of my follow-up questions with this like very, you know,
perfect answer,
verbose,
that AI.
perfect response.
Yeah.
So-
well, I actually, you know, spoke with someone recently. A lot of people recently, like you can just tell they're coming in with AI prepped questions, and so they'll like look over like, here's my question. So what I started doing is I started asking them why they're asking me the question, and they'll ask a question. Hey, why'd you start Range? I'm like, well, why do you want to know?
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean? They're like looking over to their questions for like a response, and they don't have it. I'm like, well, I'm just curious. Why do you want to know why we started the company? You know, what led to that question? Like, what are you trying to figure out? And then that really reveals to me like who's deeply thinking about the business versus who's just coming in with rehearsed questions. Like, I think companies are getting really smart about kind of weeding out AI first, AI only responses and questions, and like, how do I get to like the heart of like the person again? But it's getting annoying because you don't want to spend your interview trying to like basically break apart like their AI workflow that they've set up coming into the interview, but you kind of have to do that now.
Definitely have to do it. What I'm seeing like in a lot of interviews that I'm doing is both that, but also like people are starting to like copy what AI is telling them and working it into like their natural conversation, like certain words or certain phrases or like the structuring of certain sentences, things like that. Like the classic like AI tell is like, it's not this, it's, you know, blah, 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 right? Like that's like structurally a thing you get a lot when you ask AI questions. And so people are starting to like copy those things and use them in interviews. And I think that's like such an interesting behavior shift.
Yeah.
Where you really have to start to think about like, are humans really upstream of AI or are we downstream of AI in some way, right? Like, are we basically being molded now by all of the AI that we're all consuming? Or are we still the ones kind of pushing it in whatever direction we're going?
I don't know what's gonna happen. The technology's pretty crazy. I have to rewatch Alex Karp's interview with CNBC. You know, the one where he's railing against AI and these companies. Right. I was gonna actually talk to the company about that on Tuesday, but I haven't done enough work on that front yet. And also Satya has a whole essay he wrote that went semi-viral. I want to say about AI. I'm rereading that as well. But my wife and I are remodeling a bathroom in our house. And this morning, she was asking the AI a bunch of questions, and she was telling me, like, yeah, AI told me I should do this. I was like, you know, it's going to tell you to do whatever you want it to do. And she's like, you're right. I never like really thought about it like that. I was like, it's just, if you tell it like you hate this, it's going to be like, yeah, I agree with you. I hate it. If you say you love it, it's like, yeah, I love it. It's amazing. I wonder why it does that. I thought a lot about that, but like, I don't know.
Engagement, probably.
Do you mean it just wants you to keep talking about it?
Yeah. Make more money. I mean, to some degree, that's costing the AI companies a lot of money, but like,
money, yeah, but
also it makes you, as a user, want to come back because it's telling you nice things.
Yeah, it's also pretty confusing. I mean, yeah. Anyways, but I was gonna ask, like, you know, you guys both are in roles where you like, we're all in roles where we want people to use AI more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to make that clear. Like, I love AI. I think it's incredible. I think it's changed my life. There are moments I have still where I'm just talking with Claude or ChatGPT. I actually am a big ChatGPT fan over Claude. And I'm blown away by how fast it's made my life. And I think now I'm like, how long would this have taken me like 3-4 years ago? Maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to figure something out. I was doing some analysis on some work yesterday. I was literally just talking to AI. It was giving me answers with source. I was like, source this. Mm-hmm. And it was just doing it instantly. I was like blown away. I have these moments where I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe we live in this world. I was talking to our guy, Steve Green, he's one of our engineers here, this morning about some plumbing issue. And I uploaded the pictures into ChatGPT, and I was like, what's wrong here? How much should a plumber charge me to fix this? And how long will it take? And here's where I live. And it was like, boom. And we're just like, this is correct. It makes sense. I was like, unbelievable. But like for you guys, like, how do you assess, like, how do you weed out people who are like AI prepped as designers and engineers, but like you also know that you want them to use AI day to day the minute they're here? You know, does that make sense? Like, it's kind of a weird duality to live in, right?
The one thing that I would say is just like at a high level, you have to have like, I tell the team this all the time, we have a no slop policy, which means you cannot just take what AI tells you and then send it to me, right? And so like that in my mind is like,
I've seen you get irritated.
I get so frustrated with that because it's like, I don't actually care what the AI said. I care what you think about what the AI said, right? Like filter it a little bit, you know? And I think that's how that's to answer your question of like, how do you evaluate that, or like, how do you like encourage people to use AI? Use it as like a thought partner and help it like accelerate your work in many ways. Sure, there's like rote things that you can just be like, all right, cool. The output of whatever you tell me is fine for like, you know, some percentage of your tasks. But then there's like, most tasks are actually, you're going back and forth with AI on this. Like it might have spit you out this estimate, but like you may have had to steer it or tweak it or give it more context and things like that. And that's what we see a lot of the engineers doing, right? Like, and so I think the next evolution is how do you automate that aspect of things? We call those like loops. Mm-hmm. That's like sort of the big term is like loop engineering now, where a lot of people are trying to figure out how do you just like give AI a goal and have it figure out all the stuff that humans in the past have had to figure out how to tell it.
Yeah, what about design? I mean, that's much more subjective, right? So you're asking AI to build you stuff that doesn't exist, and that's in your imagination a lot of the time, right? I understand a lot of it is systematized at this point, but a lot of it is just like blue sky, like how would you imagine this page? Like how do you evaluate candidates or designers that, I don't know, are trying to do that, and how good is that quality of work? Is it just like their ability to prompt effectively, or is it more than that?
I don't know if I look at the AI abilities in that way. I think in the creative world, you start with the result, which is like, we often talk about how does it make you feel and how does it make the customer feel. And so if it gets results, that's awesome. Like, cool, use more AI to do whatever you're doing. You have a process that works. If it's manual, that's great. And if it takes a long time to get there, that's okay too. Like you got the result that you're looking for. And maybe there are ways to optimize that, but it starts with the outcome first. And from there, like no matter how much AI you throw at something, you can get to something faster, but it might not be better. There is a very specific AI look. So if you build something in Lovable and you just give it a prompt and say, like, build me this thing, it's going to use Shad CN. It's going to use like a design system. It's going to use a certain typeface, unless you start giving it like a little bit more instructions. And you can find some stuff out there, but it's I think maybe a good way to describe it is Rick Rubin, one of our favorite guys, the guy with the white beard.
Yeah.
He was saying, like, if you feed AI like, a script, a movie script, and you ask 4 different of the best AI out there to create a movie, they'll all kind of arrive at the same thing. But if you get, yeah, because they're all trying to do the same thing. They're all trying to like create the best movie, make no mistakes, no M dashes. Like, basically, you're gonna get basically the same movie, the same idea, because all those models are trained on something very, very similar.
Yeah.
It's the hive mind. But if you give it to Martin Scorsese, you give it to like the great, directors out there. This is what Rick Rubin's saying. He's saying that if you give it to 4 of the best directors of their time, and it's the same script, it's going to be a very different movie because it has a point of view, and that creativity cannot be replaced because those people, it's not in the model. It's what's inside their head. And so I know that it's a little bit different, but if I look at someone's work and I'm like, I haven't seen that before, and it really got a great result. A lot of times the work that we have to do, and as an example, is like create a new category. Well, in order to create a new category or to create something new, it has to look that way.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, let's make it look like everything else. You know. So if we're talking about like make a new category for, we talked about coffee as an example, like Starbucks or whatever. Like, you can't just make it look like Starbucks. You can't make it look like all the other coffees out there. You have to start with like, okay, what does this company believe in, and how do you package it in a way which looks completely different? How do you change the whole entire experience? Because you can get coffee 1,000 different ways now.
Yeah.
Like, for any price. So when you look at someone's work, you ask yourself, like, is this moving? Did this create some sort of tribe? Did this actually reach the outcome that the creator was
So
creating?
is that the limitation? Is like, what you're describing is like AGI to a degree, right? It's like the ability to come up with something net new, that is truly net new, right? Not just like part of what can come out of the hive.
It can create net new things. So like if you use Midjourney as an example, you can create like new things. But I think it comes down to, like we always talk about taste. Like it's the person, when you do a prompt inside Midjourney, someone has to look at that and be like, okay, I've never seen that before. And that moves me in the context, which is special. And you combine that with these other words or these sounds and this other experience, which makes it net new and relevant to, our context today. But yeah, like that's all Midjourney is. It's just all it's doing is just assimilating. It's just creating a whole bunch of pixels on the screen. And the person has to evaluate, is this good or not? Is this right for this particular moment to communicate?
The way they talk about this is like specifically like in distribution and out of distribution. So it's like in the training set, it's like a distribution. If you think about like a normal distribution, right? Like a lot of the stuff it's coming out with is going to be like all very similar in like a specific distribution, and like what you actually want is like the stuff on the either end. Like that's where the interesting stuff is. So there's this like concept of like AI models nowadays, LLMs are jagged intelligence, means like they are really, really good at certain things like coding, but like really bad at things like being creative and coming up with like new ideas like that. There have been some like net new solutions to like math problems that people have used AI to arrive at. And so it's not to say that it hasn't been able to come up with new things, but I think when you're talking about like inventing and being creative, it's like a huge limitation. If you ask an AI to like go write a poem, this is like a classic example, it's gonna be bad. Or ask it to like write a joke.
Yeah.
Right? The jokes are not funny, right? And so there are things that they are really good at and things that they're really bad at when it comes to generating content.
Yeah, I mean, TBD, someone asked me earlier today, like, what's been the hardest part about building this company over the last, 5 years? And I say the same answer to everyone, which is how fast AI is changing. You can't plan around it. And I don't know if you feel the same way or if you feel the same way, but like, I think you can't build roadmaps that are more than like 2 seconds long. And then people get upset about that. And then number 2 is like, how do you find people that can keep up with this pacing and stay ahead of the curve? Like, those 2 things are incredibly difficult. And I would say finding good people has always been a problem. It's like a universal problem for life. But now you have to compound it with like, okay, the technology you're using to build your product is changing so drastically every 90 days that you have to rethink everything all the time.
Yeah.
So I told like 2 people that earlier today that asked me this question.
I think on the topic of roadmaps, I think it's actually okay. You just have to be very comfortable at like throwing stuff away when the model catches up the capabilities. So like, for instance, like, I don't know, a year ago, you would have built an agentic system very differently than the way we've built it today, right? And so you have to be okay with like, oh, models are better now. You can't be like personally attached to any of the code or any of the stuff you've written, and you got to be cool with like throwing away like 60, 70% of it. That's a question I think like in software engineering in specific, people are always personal and like take their code very seriously. I think like some people are less so.
Do we have people like that here?
I actually don't think so. I think we've like filtered out that like to our last conversation, like a lot of that ego, because that's what it's about. It's like, yeah, your system is like this perfect like thing, and you're so proud of it. But then it's a very humbling feeling when like AI catches up and you suddenly can delete half of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember you told me that a couple times. Like, yeah, we have to delete like 40% of the code base. Like, AI can just do it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's insane.
For certain things. For certain things. So like, I think examples like using Rye as an example, like there are things we had to build in the early days that because the models were less good at like calling tools or understanding the context or whatever, that you had to be like very specific in your prompting. You had to be like very specific in the way your instructions for using tools. We had to build like, you know, a recipe system for like pulling out these tools and stuff like that. And model gets better and you can just delete code.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. What about you? What's on your mind about hard things about building this company? What's been hard? Has it been AI, has it been like the transformation of AI rapidly, or has it been something else?
Actually, I embrace the AI like a lot.
I know you do.
I probably embrace it more than, I wouldn't say more than most folks, but like I find myself.
I think you definitely embrace it more than most folks.
Okay, yeah.
I walk over to Jeff's desk and he's like, look at what it did last night. I'm like, what are you talking about right now?
Jeff sent me like a psychological profile on myself that he created from my Slack messages recently. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Not psychological. Yeah, I use a lot of tokens. Yeah, I'm always experimenting with different things. In that case, like I was trying to think of like how to best communicate. So we have this thing here that's called How to Work With Me, and that's your own interpretation of how, you know, like what's the best time to work well, you know, speak to somebody, the best way to communicate. But what I did was I ran on a profile on everybody at Range to kind of build.
You did?
Yeah.
I'd love to see this. What did it say about me?
Yeah, actually, I actually spent a lot of time on yours too because
More time.
I did the extra thinking on yours. Well, the reason is like the way to communicate somebody, like, so the outcome I was looking for is to make sure to communicate my idea to someone in a way that they would understand and that they could absorb in the way that is best for them.
Yeah.
So the way that you absorb information, like you're an operator, and so like you want to start off with like, okay, you don't need to see all the different things. You're like, what's the artifact and how do you operate around this particular thing? How do we get to like this in the next 24 hours? Essentially, not all the time, but I'm just saying like when I send the message to you, and how do I get that down to an executive level where it's like, okay, you can scan this in bullet points with a couple different things. That's the general shape of a message, but to go down deeper. So I ran it every single like public message on Slack, just like how you give praise and how you.
Like me specifically, or the company?
The company, just everybody,
Yeah,
just
okay.
everybody there. And so like, and basically it creates a way of like, all right, these are the things that you value, and also like kind of looks at like, okay, this is what you cared about like last quarter, and this is what you care about this quarter.
Yeah.
And so I also take like a lot of the all hands things that just like the things that you say like, these are what you're thinking about, and I'd be like, okay, every single day. I actually have a message that DMs me. So my bot DMs me with, these are the projects I'm working on. These are the things that Fahad and the executive team care most about. And like in my tickets, make sure that all the things I'm working are working towards those things. And as I kind of complete those things or I need some sort of feedback, if I'm having trouble just being like, how do I message David about this particular thing? Like, how do I make it so that it doesn't waste his time? So it generates the message for me and I look at it and I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound quite right. I kind of model it, but it's based off of like a real ledger of like the DMs that we have or like the messages on Slack.
When did you build this?
On a weekend?
Yeah, it was very interesting and it's pretty spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like I made it do it on me and like kind of do a self-analysis. So like things that I can improve on. So an example would be like I tend to build systems too quickly. I jump the gun. So when something's like not working quite right or if there's something there, I try to create a system for it versus being like, just let it go. Like people can figure it out. But it said like, and also I over-explain things. So I'm probably doing that right now too. But like those two things are like things that I can improve in like when I'm communicating to somebody, like don't over explain and don't build too many systems around it until it's actually needed. And then and when I speak to like, to Meg or to someone else, like these are the things that they value the most. So it's not to like manipulate or to turn anything. It's just to be like, how do I communicate in a way which is like the way they like to absorb information? Does it work? I think so. So far, it's so yeah.
Wow.
Am I AI pilled? I'm pretty AI pilled.
You're AI pilled for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty AI pilled.
AI pilled, that's a term.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It's when you're in the weeds like Jeff.
He's in the weeds like another level.
Do you know what number you are in the company for token users?
I asked Jonathan about that. So with Claude so I think whatever I point my energy towards, like I've become one of the top token users. So at one point I was using Claude like Claude Cowork a lot, but I don't use Claude Cowork as much anymore. I'm all in on like I only use Claude when I'm like doing vibe coding. So right now it's in Codex, ChatGPT. So
I wonder if like when I hear conversations like this
you're
in
one
the
of the top
company.
ones.
Tony's definitely one of the top ones. But like when I hear conversations like this in the company, every once in a while I'm like, I wonder if they're talking about this at our competitors. Like, not that I think about our competitors a lot, but every once in a while I'm like, I wonder if they're talking about this at like Morgan Stanley. You think like the head designer or the creative director of Morgan Stanley sitting there saying, how do I max out token usage?
I don't think
Definitely
I could. No, I do worry. I do worry that like we'll get capped at some point. But
yeah, but that's not the sentiment of my question. My question is more like, is the world that we're operating in and trying to, create a niche for ourselves as a company, how do those people work, right? Whether it's Morgan Stanley, UBS, Goldman Sachs, Creative Planning, LPL, Mariner, Mercer, Hightower, like everyone we compete with, what are those people doing every day? Or are they just like hire more financial advisors and give advice? Like, let's use Claude. Like, you may or may not be able to use Claude. Like, I do think about that. I'm like, what are they doing every day that is still attracting customers in like a modern world? Like, how are they building their business? It's actually like, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be more complicated than that sometimes to be like, okay, you're going to win the category.
I think that I have some friends in financial services, and we're talking about this.
Yeah.
And I think they're...
You mean they're financial advisors?
No, they're just like, in finances and stuff like that. Like at, those type of companies or work adjacent to those companies, like have worked...
But they're not actual advisors there.
They're not financial advisors. They're just
okay.
like in finance, like investment bank or whatever. And like some people are basically just using ChatGPT web interface.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Like I think that's like what... If you're at an enterprise right now, you probably have some kind of enterprise subscription for ChatGPT, Copilot, or Claude maybe.
Yeah.
And all you're able to access is like the chat, right? There's still like everything else is like super like nobody's experimenting with agents or building internally or like coming up with like templates or standardization of the tooling so that design team is like operating better, right? Like what's the amalgamation of tools that you guys should be using to like be super optimal at your jobs? Nobody's like thinking about it like that. And I think this is more of a problem, not a problem, but just like something that hasn't shifted yet across the entire like population of like people yet. So like I saw this graphic the other day where it's a bunch of squares representing the entire population, and it's of how much people are using AI, and then like how deep their AI usage is. Like, are they building agents? Are they using coding agents? Are they using cowork? Things like that. And just some like ridiculously small percentage of people is using even ChatGPT interface, and an even smaller percentage of that is using agents in some way. And so it's like this shift of adoption has not even happened yet. And I think that's why a lot of people are still going to these like old school advisors and competitors, because they don't even know what else is out there or how to think about this stuff yet.
Going to like industry conferences like blows my mind.
Yeah.
Right. Been to a couple this year.
You're wearing the shirt from it.
Yeah, exactly. And going to industry conferences, I'm like, are you kidding me? These are the questions you guys are like interested in. Like, will customers adopt AI? I'm like, it's 2026. This is insane. Like, this is what you're thinking about, running a $100 billion RIA. Every time I walk away from these conferences, I wish I could bring the entire company for 5 minutes just to listen to what the leading CEOs and CTOs of these organizations are saying. And I'm just like, this is your competition. Like, we've got to be miles ahead of these people at this point. Every time I go, like, it validates that so well. It's super, super like motivating, and satisfying to be building a company where you're like, you have the clear lead in wealth, and no one is close. No one. You know, it's pretty interesting. I've never worked at a company where I have felt like you're the leader in the category. You're literally the leader in the category, and I really feel that way about Range right now. Yeah, I know our numbers. Well, the best thing about our world, guys, is like all the numbers are disclosed publicly. So if you know how to look, you can just see the numbers. You're like, oh wow, we're winning, you know, and that lead is accelerating. It's pretty fascinating. What were you gonna say?
I was going to ask you, do you think they're worried? You know, because they're sitting like, when you're in their mind, they're on top of the mountain, right? So if they're on top of the mountain, that's where all the fruit is. That's where all the water is.
You mean like CEOs of like these bigger RIAs and investment firms? Are they worried?
They're riding on the legacy of their, you know, of their brand.
You want to know what I really think?
Yeah, what do you really think?
I think they're worried, but I don't think they care because they're old and rich. And they're like, oh, all right, whatever. By the time you take over my industry or my company, which is inevitable because they're really smart people, they're not dumb. They're like, I'm done. Like, I'm a bazillionaire. You know, maybe not billionaire, but like I've got tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, whatever, party's over. You can have a kid. I really think that's
so they're just kind of just chilling.
Yeah, I mean, the CEOs of these companies are in there. You know, they're candidly 60 to 80-year-old white men who are filthy rich, and they're just like, okay, whatever, AI wins. I'm out of here. Like, that's truly what I think. Now, on the flip side, like, you don't just build a mega company like that for fun and shits and giggles. Like, you're very competitive, you're very smart, you're entrepreneurial. So, like, there's an innate sense in these people probably where, like, I don't want to lose. No matter, I don't care if I'm 100. I'm not gonna lose. And so, you know, you have to be fair and counterbalance that. But by and large, sometimes you know when you've lost, and you just kind of ride the wave until like it all takes over. And that's what I think is happening in a lot of these instances. And a lot of people are selling out because they're like, I can't compete with this anymore. I was talking to a friend, neighbor, financial advisor who owns his own shop. It's a smaller shop, but he's like, I'm starting to lose customers for the first time. He said this to me. And he goes, I'm starting to lose customers right now because they're coming to me saying like, AI is just giving me all the planning advice. What are you guys actually doing for 1%? And he's like, I don't have a good answer. And so he was like, I'm actually for the first time thinking about selling my RIA. I was like, okay, wow. And I think in a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's going to become the norm because these advisors are going to be like, I'm losing to a chatbot left and right, and I don't even have a counter. So, all right, it is Wednesday afternoon. I got to like go back to work. So.
Do you want to hear the square footage of the Anthropic building?
Yeah. What was that?
466,000 square feet. Do you want to hear the square footage of their New York office?
What is that?
Yeah.
500,000 square feet?
1 million.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy.
What is 1 million square feet? Like, how does that translate? Is that like an entire building? Is that two
Anthropic
buildings?
has built a massive, I mean, it just, portfolio includes major spaces spanning at 300 Howard, and Soma. Oh, it's multiple buildings put together. Yeah.
Crazy.
Howard, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah,
City
yeah.
block.
It's a great area.
Yeah, that's by your guys at, we used to come to San Francisco at Bolt, right?
Oh, that's right.
Soma.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
This is fun. See you guys next time.
Cool.